Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, you know, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those three dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
You know, we like to say new week, new money, new month, new money, because it is February, the shortest month out of the year, and then maybe March in the Northeast we'll start to get some sunshine and maybe temperatures that can approach 40 degrees. But until we get there, it's up to me, Donnie Rightside, and him, Joe Ranieri, to keep the action on to make sure you're hot and ready for when you show up to that water cooler, so you can be a smarter person there that says, you know what? I think I know who's going to win that Super Bowl 60 this weekend. I think I know who those prop bets are going to be. I think I know who's going to win that NBA game tonight, Joe. That's the goal of the early line. Get you started early. The early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about, right? Knowledge is power, Donnie. The more you have, the earlier you have it. And, you know, cardinal rule here on the show, right? Always get the best of the number. That's what this show is all about.
Including if you're a professional athlete, as we start here with the early lineup. Eugenio Suarez, one-year deal with the Reds. How about that, Joe? $15 million, like he never left at this point. Eugenio could still swing that bat. He needs some power.
Yeah, nobody else could come up with money to... Very strange, Donnie. I thought that he would have commanded a little bit more cash, would have went someplace else, but... You know, the Reds will do what the Reds do, right? They will basically underperform, and everyone will be scratching their head like, what is going on here? But that's the Reds for you.
That's all right. Just give us some runs. Great American Ballpark there usually provides runs here. Eugenio going to be able to find the seats there. Team totals to the over. RBI props to the moon. Eugenio's back in town in Cincinnati. Let's get over to the NFL landscape. The Arizona Cardinals. They were probably the last chair left. When the music stopped, you know who sat in that chair? Mike LaFleur. Come on down. Why? Well, your brother's a pretty good NFL coach there up at Green Bay. And also, didn't you coach under Sean McVay? That means you deserve to be a head coach of the NFL. LaFleur goes to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, they were the last team to make the announcement yesterday to lock in. We had learned earlier about Kubiak, but he's going to have his work cut out for him. I'll tell you that. You got to figure out what you're doing with Kyler Murray, the quarterback position, the biggest question mark as far as I'm concerned with that team. And what do you do with Jacoby Brissett? So some questions definitely for the Arizona Cardinals new head coach.
Clint Kubiak, officially still the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, unofficially the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders here. The number one pick's coming to town. It's going to be Mendoza, and it looks like they got their guy, Kubiak, to the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, obviously comes from a long line of, NFL coaching there. So His dad was actually pretty good at it as well. And now he's going to have his own team, his own offense. And my goodness, I think the 10th father-son coaching duo in the history of the NFL now. So this should be interesting to see how it works. But at least he has the draft capital. Like, he gets the first pick. He gets to start from scratch with his own quarterback. That's not the case there with LaFleur in Arizona.
Just got to stay out of his way. Say, hey, you know what? I don't want any full autonomy from this organization. Just don't meddle with me. Give me the number one pick. I'll make it happen and see what we can do in a very, very tough division. But we'll get paid a lot of money to live in Las Vegas with the number one overall prospect in football coming to him next year, and we'll see if it does work out. How about regulators? Okay, the ESPN deal with the NFL. A lot of rights changing, big money in the market. The only thing I can envision, Joe, is more commercials headed down the stretch for your boys. That's all.
Yeah, listen, I'm kind of shocked that it took so little time to be able to get done. I mean, usually these kinds of mergers and these kinds of sales and acquisitions, Donnie, it takes forever to get the government approval there. But they pushed this one through, and of course, just in time for them to be able to create the schedule now in the next couple of weeks for next year. So that's good. By the way, we do know they're sending the Browns and the Saints to France. So kudos, France. Enjoy that one.
Sell at the top of the market. That's what you're taught to do here. And in the NFL, it's hard to get a team here. One's going to go for sale. It's the Seattle Seahawks, as they just made it to Super Bowl 60. Shortly afterwards, they're probably going to find a buyer in upwards of $6.7 billion. If that's the going rate, it's probably going to push closer to 7+ at this point. Seattle, big market team in the Super Bowl, and now up for sale.
Yeah, I mean, kudos, man. It's classic, right? You buy low, you sell high here, and there is no better team right now. I mean, close to $7 billion, about to play in the biggest game in a year, could have a world championship. I mean, my goodness, Donnie, it's, And you know what? There'll be no shortage of guys looking to buy that. Yep. That's the crazy part, Donnie.
Wonder who's going to buy that team. Is Phil Knight going to buy the team? Like, who's going to buy this team up in Seattle? Feels like somebody. Is Starbucks going to buy this team at this point? Because that is a lot of money, man. Oh, you know what? The Dodgers will buy them and strip them down at this point, right? The Dodgers, their conglomerate's going to actually take over the entire league and own every single organization, both Major League Baseball and also the NFL. Jordan Hicks on the move again. The flamethrower out of the bullpen. And you got a lively arm. Teams are always going to take chances on you, Joe, seems like.
Well, when you get in triple digits, yes. The problem is, his problem anyway, is that sometimes he just has no idea where it's going. So, but yeah, I mean, certainly worth the flyer there. But we know one of those teams is in rebuild mode. I'm going to be interested to see what to make of the Red Sox this season, who overperformed last year, Donnie.
Rabakina beats Sabalenka in the women's final in the Australian Open. And by the way, I have a question. Like, why don't the women play as long as the men, or why isn't it even at this point now? How come they get a shorter set than the men?
Yeah, you would have thought, right? I've not. Yeah, I mean, most of them never make it to 5 anyway, though, with the men, especially with Alcaraz out there. But yeah, no, it's still best of 3, right? 2 out of 3. They don't mess around. They don't change that. So yeah, I mean, all things being equal, Donnie, you would think it should be 5 for each, right?
By the way, also, like the men's, like Alcaraz ends up beating Djokovic here, but why can't the men just go 3 at this point now? Like, why do we have to go 5? Like, should you be playing some of these matches for 5.5 hours out there one-on-one? That seems to look quite excessive here. How about best out of 3? We already know they're 2 great players. Just let them go. Forget it, man.
Well, when you have a senior citizen, especially out on the court there in Nova, I mean, you should have dropped it to 3, and he might have actually been a little more competitive there. But no, he got ousted in 4 anyway. But shout out to the AARP club there on the tennis court.
Let's hear from Novak right now. See his thoughts on that final.
Yeah, I knew that I'd probably have to beat 2 of them on the way to the title, and beat 1, which is great. So it's a step more further than I have gone in Grand Slams than last year. Very, very nice, encouraging, but not enough for me. And let's see. I'm gonna keep pushing and see if I get.
By the way, you know what I appreciate here? And my whole moniker of I think I can improve sports for everybody. Not a lot of people like tennis. Oh, Donnie, come on. We all love tennis. No, we don't all love tennis. But you know what I love tennis? It gets over in the morning. It clears my timeline for the rest of the day. Like, I don't want to have tennis tweets on from 5 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock at night on how great these events are. And I really don't care about tennis in the morning. Can we just find a space where no matter where they're playing and what continent, Joe, they only play in the morning? Like, I can appreciate that.
They should only play in Australia, as far as I'm concerned. Let them just keep playing out there, Donnie. The timing works out perfectly.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it. Same thing with golf, too, with many of those tournaments. Everything should be played out like the British Open kind of thing over there. You wake up, you're done by 11 o'clock, and you can still get your tea time by 12.
By the way, we don't talk a lot of golf on this. And again, once it starts to heat up where we get to the majors, we'll get into a little bit more involved. Justin Rose gets better, like a fine wine out here, Joe. Destroying the PGA Tour out on the West Coast there. Wins easily. And by the way, it felt like a runaway. Like nobody could even get within 6 strokes all weekend of the guy. He just had that stiff arm out there.
Set the course record, Donnie. 23 under, wire-to-wire win. And listen, and I know Novak didn't win, but what a weekend for the old guys, right? Volkanovski retains in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's 38 years old. And you got Justin Rose setting records. My goodness, can't go wrong.
No, you certainly can't go wrong at this point. Now, next week, the Waste Management. Scotty Scheffler's back. Can he make it 2 for 2? And also, Brooks Koepka came back. Or did he really come back or just hang out with the boys this weekend? Much more talk coming up next, includes the NBA.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie. And I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So, so that was, I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those 3 dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
NBA action certainly heating up right now. Before we get to the All-Star break, which I believe is February 15th, so under 2 weeks, and also the trade deadline rapidly approaching and where Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to come from, or go to, or will he be arriving in South Beach, in New York, or Philadelphia? We'll find out sooner than later. But how about this? Jason Kidd says he didn't give a damn about what you're thinking about his usage of Cooper Flag here. How about that, Joe?
One of my favorite after-game press conferences. I mean, Jason Kidd just look at the reporters are questioning him about whether or not he should be a point guard. And meanwhile, a Hall of Famer, like a guy who knows the game better than everyone collectively in a room. Just hilarious, the response finally from Jason Kidd. Could you imagine having to answer questions about, gee, why a point guard there, Jay? Do you understand how the game works, Jason Kidd? Do you understand that? I mean, it was just, he had it up to there, Donnie, and I love the reaction and the response from him.
Let's take a look at that presser right now with Jason Kidd.
Coach, you get a lot of national criticism for playing flag at point guard. Over the last 2 games, he's been on the ball.
Criticism, that's your opinion. You guys like that bullshit. That's not, I've done this. I played this game. I played it at a very high level. I know what I'm doing. But I don't give a what you guys fight. Because you guys are not playing the game. So I build players. So I know what I'm doing. So to take criticism, it only makes me better. Because if I wasn't doing right, you guys wouldn't be poking holes at what I've done.
But even after,
Look at the eye contact too. Like, I think you wanted to drop the gloves right there with the guy. I really do.
I love it. Don't question me about what I'm doing. Like, seriously, like, I know this game better. Collectively, you guys in your YMCA league don't know what I forgot yet. Just priceless by Jason Kidd.
I'll tell you what else is priceless. At least you get the truth out of Jason Kidd in that press conference. You know, we don't get the truth from Paul George. Suspended 25 games for substance abuse. Hey, guys, mental health. I took some pills I wasn't supposed to. Just admit it. Just admit it. You're getting older here. You're feeling the weight of that contract. You want to make sure that you're a good player on the Philadelphia 76ers. You took some enhancement drugs to make you better on the court, but then you blame it on mental health. Can we just stop the man? Just admit it. You cheated. You need a little bit extra kicker. You took it, and there you go.
I mean, you know, it's not
mental health.
Not rocket science here. I mean, the fact that he deflected it and made it about mental health was just crazy. Just own it and move on, because Donnie, nobody will care in another week. And that'll be the end of it. But no, now you're going to keep being in the headlines. How's your mental health, Paul? How's that going here? It's just ridiculous. Own it. Just own it.
Like all those boxers. Hey, I got caught up for steroids here. No. I just went to Mexico over the weekend. I had a good steak, and I came back, and all of a sudden I was all roided up because the steak had a ton of roids here. Just admit you took it. We can move on and move past that stuff here. How about this? Kelly Oubre talking about a washable contract. What is that about?
They don't seem like you get stressed about them, but I'm sure you've heard like speculation on them. So they all flipped your contract to trade that time, blah, 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 blah. Does that affect you in any way at all?
No. No, but it does kind of, it does kind of stink a little bit to have a contract that is easily like washable, you would say. So I'm putting in the work, showing up every day, you know, showing what I mean to this league and to this team. And hopefully, you know, I can not be in this position again, but Godspeed.
So probably making $20 million this year or $10 million this year. And it's a shame that it's not $10 million next year. They can just get rid of me at any time. What a tough life for the NBA players, man. It is getting tough out there.
Listen, I love the term washable contract, which basically means you don't really exist long-term, do you? And they can just wash you away, man. And I like that, man. I like that term. We got to use that, Donnie.
We do. We're very washable here at the SportsGrid Network right now at this point. You know who's not washable right now? LeBron James, All-Star game. Is it 22? Is it the 22nd appearance here for the guy? LeBron James made it to the All-Star game. Who would have thought that?
Oh, I thought it was Bronny James. That you mean LeBron James? Because I think they're both about as worthy of it. Like, didn't he miss the first month and a half of the 2 months of the season? Like, what? Really? Oh, that's right. So he's a reserve. So, please give me a break. There are a lot of other guys I would have rather seen. Yeah, exactly.
Get him back to the Cavaliers. Ridiculous. Get him back to the Cavaliers here. Get a trade at the deadline. The Cavs already freeing up some space, possibly trading DeAndre Hunter to the Sacramento Kings for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. And also, Schroeder had some comments like he doesn't appreciate being traded in the NBA. You get 5-star hotels, private jets, hundreds of millions of dollar contracts. It's not fair if I get traded, though, Joe, apparently.
Well, I mean, and unfortunately, he probably won't have a chance to wait for Doncic outside the locker room again anytime soon because now he's on the Cavs. I don't know if they meet again, though that would be great. But listen, the Cavs need help, man, in the front court there. I mean, they've had injuries all year long there to their guard position. So yeah, they had to get rid of a little money, and at the same time get a little depth going there because they are woefully underperforming this season.
Dennis Schroeder, by the way, been around the block, too. Take a look at this. Drafted by the Hawks, traded to the Thunder, traded to the Lakers, signs a contract with the Celtics, traded to the Rockets, signs with the Lakers, signs with the Raptors, traded to the Nets, traded to the Warriors, traded to the Pistons, signed with the Kings, and traded to the Cavs. It's nice to be wanted, but also maybe it's a him problem where he can't just stick around because maybe it seems like, hey, I thought you were better than this.
It's always been a him problem, Donnie. But you want to talk about the pure... Look up washable, and you will see a picture of him in it in the NBA because those are all washable contracts, Donnie, there. That's basically what he's done. He's made a career of it, though, so kudos to him.
He almost got the detergent out there in Los Angeles. Remember his contract? Close to $100 million. I think I'm worth $150 million. That should have made that choice way back when. How about the Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson, who's been fined 50 G's for aggressively pursuing, berating, and making inadvertent contact with a game official? Oh, can't do that, man. Can't do it.
Well, at least he showed some fight because it's been a rough season for the Cavs, man. It really has. So, but I do think this trade will help them out here a little bit because Darius Garland can't stay healthy, and they need some front court help here.
Speaking about trades, Joe, did you know Polymarket and Kalshi, you can make trades all day long? Get ready for some of these hot topics coming up next right here.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize.
We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
Stack enough wins to avoid a brutal matchup path, and when Giannis gets back full burst, they got to get him back on the floor and back on the floor healthy. The Bucs season won't be defined by the game Giannis misses. It'll be defined whether Milwaukee protects him from himself and gets him back in April if he's still a part of the team.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
David Tyree.
Oh, wow.
The 2008 Giants win against the New England Patriots and the Tyree catch of the Plaxico Burst game-winning touchdown. That was the only other time in Super Bowl history where the betting public won money.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Kalshi, Polymarket. We love this spot here on the early line, Joe. And did you know that there is a show that has the initials PME that airs on the network that has Joe Ranieri and Donnie Wright outside of the early line? Did you know that, Joe Ranieri? Following along?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Yep, never heard of it.
Prediction.
But
Markets
should
edge.
be good.
Yeah, you're very good on that show. Like the advanced results coming in are very positive to the duo that hosts that show, which now each and every day when you watch the early line, you understand. We get you into Kalshi and Polymarket with the information they need to know, which includes Super Bowl 60. We're not going to ask you today who's going to throw the first touchdown pass or who's going to go over their 220.5 yards prop. I'm going to ask you this today, Joe. Which brands will advertise during the big game in 2026? And it seems like, Joe, the cat's out of the bag on a lot of these. Hims and Hers, 99% chance. Pepsi, 99% chance. Liquid Death, 98% chance. OpenAI, 97% chance here, Joe. It seems like we already know these guys filmed some commercials and sent them in. Are you just taking no contracts left and right to cash in, or just taking the yes and saying, I'll take a couple cups of coffee?
And that's basically it. That's the free money, right? Aspect of it in the prediction markets where, listen, we already know what the answer is, but okay, I don't have to, listen, you don't have to tie it up very long either, Donnie, right? You'll have it all by Monday. Invest in it now and you'll have the return on Monday, so you don't have to tie it up for very long.
Yeah, take a look at some of these markets, too. I see DoorDash trading at 18%. You know, like they get into it, but I keep seeing Uber Eats commercials on TV, like they're doing something for the Super Bowl, but I can't find Uber Eats on this list right now. How about Liquid Death, Joe, trading at 98 cents? So you would get $3 back on your investment there. A little Liquid Death. I assume that's like a Monster-type energy drink? No?
Nope. It's pure water, Donnie. You wouldn't know it, but it's water. Yes, it's just water. I mean, you know what it does? It tastes like water. Only it's at like $5 a can. So yes, there's a lot of Liquid Death being sold in order to afford a 30-second commercial, Donnie. For I don't know what the going rate is. What it was, $3 million or $4 million for 30 seconds. Like, yeah, a lot of Liquid Death there.
And you know, in the past, Joe, when you watch Super Bowl Sunday, you didn't see the commercials before the game. Now it feels like half the commercials you saw the week before the game at this point right now. Whatever happened to, you know, like the anticipation of, that's hilarious, that Doritos commercial. Now, wait a second, I saw that Doritos commercial last week and they're running it during the Super Bowl. Ingenuity is what we want, people. And also this weekend, you know what else we're going to find out, Joe? Who's going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame 2026? Drew Brees, 97%. Larry Fitzgerald, 97%. Kuechly, Vinatieri, Jason Witten. And by the way, like a lot of people say, like kickers and punters shouldn't be in there. Vinatieri absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely does. The question is, are you going to lay down the 62 cents for the yes here to get paid back 162? That's the question, Joe.
Yeah, he absolutely deserves, but we need to know, does he deserve it this go around? I mean, listen, Larry Fitzgerald belongs in the Hall of Fame. Drew Brees belongs in it. Every one of those guys belongs here, Donnie, but how many spaces do they have available here, or can they all get in and maybe yes on all of them?
Giants fans, you want to make a free $3 this weekend? How about a contract on 98 cents as a no on Eli Manning? The guy's a 500 quarterback. No shot should this guy be sniffing anywhere around the elite talent. Like, you know what happens, Joe, where they say like those busts inside come alive at night when you turn the lights off? They would beat up Eli Manning if he was in the Hall of Fame because how bad his record is.
Yeah, but he's got 2 rings. He doesn't have one. You don't luck into one. You got 2, which seems to be the bar, right? And you beat, of all people, Tom Brady twice. So Eli can do no wrong in my book as a Jets fan, because you did what many other guys could not do. You took down Tom Brady twice.
I gotta tell you though, when Eli Manning retired, I shedded a tear because the times we beat him like a drum for felt like 20 straight years. And by the way, he still sees Asante Samuel in his nightmares at night. Asante, my guy, shout out for the Eagles. I think he picked them off like 16 times at this point. But let's take a look at the men's ice hockey gold medal. Canada, 45% chance right now. No. We're going down to the U.S., Joe. 28 cents, $100 wager pays back $3.58 on US&A. USA. That's where I'm going.
I would bet both Canada and USA, Donnie, and either way, I'm going to make money. So just don't have any sort of upset going on there for the gold. I think we're in good shape.
Slide it down. How about putting the flyer on Italy right now, the home team, Joe? $100 investment pays back $10,000. How about that on Italy? We'll be right back to talk some hoop action hockey action? Spin the wheel with us. You never know.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize.
We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
Stack enough wins to avoid a brutal matchup path, and when Giannis gets back full burst, they got to get him back on the floor and back on the floor healthy. The Bucs season won't be defined by the game Giannis misses. It'll be defined whether Milwaukee protects him from himself and gets him back in April if he's still a part of the team.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
David Tyree.
Oh, wow.
The 2008 Giants win against the New England Patriots and the Tyree catch of the Plaxico Burst game-winning touchdown. That was the only other time in Super Bowl history where the betting public won money.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The NHL seems like a lot of fun. In Philadelphia, we don't get to participate because our team stinks every single year. So sometimes, Joe, you got to turn on the TV and say, oh, this is actually how the game is played. And if you're taking a look from a historical standpoint in the month of January, how about the hat tricks, Joe? 30 of them. It used to be an uncommon occurrence, now turned into a common occurrence. I can't imagine being able to score 3 times in an NHL game. 30 times it happened in January.
You gotta love it, right? I mean, this was like Major League Baseball's version of, all right, let's switch out the baseballs and make them fly a little. It feels like maybe the NHL has decided, you know what, more goals means more eyeballs.
Yes.
Which is probably why you're pulling goalies with 7 minutes to go in the game when you're down 2 or 3. And yeah, guys are getting a lot of extra shots on goal that probably shouldn't, Donnie.
Yeah, nobody wants to see the Devils of the 1990s and the left wing lock and Marty Brodeur and the Devils score 1 goal in the first period and then just ice the puck the entire way. We like goal scoring, and also we like big-time games here. And the Lightning and the Bruins played one in the Stadium Series yesterday from Tampa Bay. It was fantastic. This game finished in a shootout, I should say, with 11 total goals. And also, the Bruins were running away with this game 5-1, and all of a sudden the comeback starts, and a goalie fight where they say really helped the Lightning get over the edge. 6-5 victory, Lightning over the Bruins. What an entertaining game in the NHL.
It's just a shame the NHL didn't bother to promote this at all, because I got to tell you, it was at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. They didn't have to worry about the ice melting in Tampa because it was, under 30 degrees last night and people were frozen, but they packed out. But the pageantry, Donnie, I mean, the fact that you had the Lightning show up off the bus wearing the creamsicle Tampa Bay Bucks uniforms, and then the other side, the Bruins, came out dressed as all Revolutionary War patriots, was just, I mean, fantastic stuff all the way around. And it turned out we had a goalie fight and a shootout. What, I mean, the fact that the NHL didn't tell anybody or make a big deal of that is beyond me. It
Yeah,
really
exactly.
is.
I mean, especially on a day like there's no NFL action or football there. Like you
Correct.
could have actually said, hey, people will tune into this. And also, if you did tune in, you probably didn't tune out. Like, oh, it's a 5-1 game. I'm out of here. If you stuck around just a few more extra minutes, you saw that absolutely avalanche of offense by the Tampa Bay Lightning. And also, was it cool? Who was dressed as Tony Montana in that game as well? Looking fly in that suit with the hat and the chains out there. John Cooper, man, looked fantastic.
John Cooper looked good, didn't he? Yeah, it was. The whole thing was just great. We need more of that, NHL. We absolutely need more of that.
And by the way, you're right about the creamsicles. Like, it wasn't as if like they committed to the bit by going, let's just wear custom jerseys, walk in.
Yep.
They were fully decked out in an NFL creamsicle uniform for Tampa Bay, as if they were playing a football game on their way in at that point. And then on the opposite side of Joe pointed out too, the Patriots walked in there as the Boston Bruins. Fantastic spectacle. Everybody was fully committed, and that game turned out to exactly what you wanted there. A big show for the NHL, but as Joe says, sometimes you want to promote that at that point. Maybe you get some more fans into the building, but that's just us talking here, Joe. We got more NHL action today, which includes the New York Islanders on the road to take on the Washington Capitals. Slight favorite here for the Caps at home, -128s to -130s, depending where you're shopping, and a total listed at 6.5. Sorokin and Thompson expected to be the netminders in this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the final, right? The final stretch, a couple of days worth of hockey here, right? So, but the Capitals have been hot. I mean, they've won a couple in a row, looking for that third straight win. And listen, the Islanders, we all knew they were capable, but they're getting the goaltending. They're scoring some goals. They're playing some defense. I think this is going to be actually a good one, hence the entire pick-em price that we're looking at here right now, Donnie.
How about this one? Maybe close to a pick'em price as well. You're taking a look at Buffalo on the road to take on Florida. Bobrovsky versus Lyon or Lyon? How do we pronounce Lyon? Joe, give me a pronunciation. Lyon. Maybe the Frenchman here. 128 to 130, depending where he's shopping, as a favorite for the home team, the Florida Panthers, taking on a hot Buffalo squad.
Which also happens to be the former backup to Bobrovsky with the Florida Panthers. So interesting stuff there. I believe he does have maybe a ring on his finger from us. So, but yeah, I mean, listen, great story for Buffalo. Sorry, guys, back in the control room, Tommy. But they're going to get absolutely smoked here tonight by the Panthers.
Oh, wow. Florida squaring them up here. How about Detroit and Colorado going to get it going tonight? A more heavy juiced price than the two that we just talked about. How about -220 to -210, depending where you're shopping at, as a hometown favorite for the Colorado Avalanche, and a total that's listed at 6.5. Blowout expected for Colorado at home against the Wings?
Well, this is not your old Wings here. I mean, this is a 31-win, Red Wings team here on the road playing Colorado, but Colorado's lost a couple of games over the last few weeks, and everyone's like, oh boy, they're 30, stop. They haven't even lost double-digit games yet here, Donnie. I mean, I get it, but I think the Red Wings can hang around in this one. I also wouldn't sweat out an under here, though. I think goals are coming here tonight at Ball Arena.
How about this? Most of these games listed today, and quite frankly, a lot of the times at 6.5. Winnipeg and Dallas here. Hellebuck going up against Ottinger. This game actually is a 5.5 total, but a heavy favorite towards the home team, the Dallas Stars, at about a -170 to -175 price, depending on where you're shopping at. Maybe lower scoring between the Jets and the Stars.
Yeah, I mean, neither goaltender, either Ottinger or Hellebuck, have been having great years this season, but certainly Dallas has enough firepower to overcome that. Winnipeg doesn't, unfortunately. They're hovering just under 500 there, Donnie. And yeah, but I mean, if these two guys, when they get together, this game's in Dallas, and it's usually first 1 to 2 or 3 wins this game. So yeah, I wouldn't look at an over in that one either.
Take a look at those Stanley Cup odds here for the 2025-2026 season. It's still the Colorado Avalanche as the heavy favorite here at a +220 price, followed by the Lightning, Hurricanes, Vegas Golden Knights, Oilers, and those Florida Panthers at 14 to 1. Is it a runaway for the Avalanche, Joe, or is there any value behind the Avalanche in the NHL?
Well, they are still the team to beat, but it feels like, Donnie, we've had this conversation about Colorado in years past that, yeah, they really were always the team to beat coming out of the West, but Edmonton, you couldn't sleep on them. It is stacked, make no mistake about it. They just seem to be a cut above the rest. And so does Tampa on the other side, by the way, and you saw that again last night. So right now, it's Tampa and Colorado, and everyone else is just trying to play spoiler.
Only a few more games till we have the Olympic break here, which I do think is interesting, Joe, and also from a handicapping perspective. Does it change at all for you as we get to that break where I know when I look at Major League Baseball, some of the worst times you can have is that Sunday before the All-Star break begins and then that Thursday/Friday when they get back. Do you change up any handicapping opinions here in the NHL before this break?
Well, you know, you have some teams like, for instance, my Panthers down here that have, they're trying to weather the storm. But, Donnie, let's face it, they're on the outside looking in right now if the season ended today. So they can ill afford some of these teams, especially in a very competitive division. You get some of these teams here that can't, just take their foot off the gas and resume it after the Olympics. So I think there are going to be some teams that are going to try to finish up this week. And Florida's got Buffalo, who's ahead of them. And Florida's got the Bruins coming up on Wednesday night, a game in which I'll be at there, Donnie, before they go to the break. 2 games they need wins at.
And once we get to that break here, Joe, let me sell you a little bit on a parlay that maybe you need to get behind.
Ooh.
The U.S. men's team and the U.S. women's team, both to get gold medals. Looking at FanDuel right now, that'll pay you back plus 448 on a U.S. sweep of the golds in hockey.
Done. I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it, man. There's no point messing around. Let's get it done here. And boy, would that not be outstanding when they're at the podium getting that gold, huh?
I'll tell you what's great, too. Taking a look at Finland, Slovakia, going to open this up. 10:40 a.m. start. A lot of afternoon action. I see a 6:10 a.m. between France and Switzerland. Live right here on the early line. Olympic ice hockey. Why not? Let's do it. More hot topics on the way.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize.
We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
Stack enough wins to avoid a brutal matchup path, and when Giannis gets back full burst, they got to get him back on the floor and back on the floor healthy. The Bucs season won't be defined by the game Giannis misses. It'll be defined whether Milwaukee protects him from himself and gets him back in April, if he's still a part of the team.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
David Tyree.
Oh, wow.
The 2008 Giants win against the New England Patriots and the Tyree catch of the Plaxico Burress game-winning touchdown. That was the only other time in Super Bowl history where the betting public won money.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Sports. We love sports. That's why we have the early line right here to keep you involved in sports and also ways to handicap and have some fun. But just as a sportsman, as we like to say, myself, Donnie right side, and Joe Ranieri, we say to ourselves, look, forget about the four major sports here in the U.S. Sometimes global affairs take precedence here. Look at the run, Joe, we are about to have. The Olympics start February 6th. The Super Bowl, February 8th. College baseball, February 13th. I don't know who put that in there. Throw that out. World Baseball Classic, March 4th. March Madness, 17th. Opening day at 26th, and so forth here. I love it. We are set up big time. And again, I don't know who snuck in college baseball, but shame on you, Joe.
What's wrong with college baseball starting?
Throw it out. We're not going to Mark Light. I'm not going to see it Mark Light this summer. I won't.
The softest lines in the betting markets are on college baseball. We will be talking a lot about college baseball this year because it is a moneymaker. But you're right, Donnie. These next couple of weeks, and don't forget, I mean, we got 1 month left in the regular season in college hoops. March Madness will be here before you know it. Conference championships. So the next couple of weeks, even though we're saying goodbye to football after Sunday, get ready. There is a lot happening here heading into the summer.
And by the way, do we have when is the final for the World Cup? Because I see it's on June 11th. What would you say the World Cup lasts? Maybe a month or so? Oh, July 19th, which is phenomenal. And you know what that helps us out with? That's usually the dead time in our business here. We actually have the World Cup going on live.
Yep.
That is absolutely sensational. And some of you might be watching this program and go, Donnie, all you do is laugh. You hate soccer. And I technically do. I don't care about the EPL or the MLS. I thoroughly enjoy the World Cup. It's a different product. It's nation's pride. It's massive, and I buy into it. I am very much looking forward to the World Cup at this point, and that helps. Seeing what that time frame is in the U.S., fantastic. I welcome the World Cup at this point right now. But let's also get involved in something where we take a look at the Olympics coming up. Dan Wolkin with a tweet here. I have arrived in Italy for the Olympics, and this is what they think of us, he tweets out. I don't know what type of pizza that is, but if you are in Italy, pizzas look like that. What is the pepperoni? What is that? Little hockey pucks? French fries? Where's the cheese at? But the dough does look tremendous.
The dough looks tremendous, but no, that can't honestly be something they're serving them, are they? I mean, who's the sponsor? Domino's? What are we doing here? You're in Italy. Like, come on with that. That's absurd. What do you say? That's what they think of us? They be like, the Americans are just throw fries on there.
Come on.
That's great.
Why not just
I
throw
love
some
it.
garbage? Why not throw like an empty tin can on top and we'll eat that bad boy as well? The
Classic.
Americana for a pizza in Italy. By the way, if I ever went to Italy and got pizza and it wasn't good, I'd be very upset about that here at this point. But that looks like there. How about the one at the top of the picture, Joe? The super veggie? Come on now.
Yeah.
We didn't come there to eat super veggie and have this Americana pizza with French fries splattered across there. Stop it.
Yeah. No, just give me the margarita. I'm good to go. Everybody wins.
Yes, correct.
You're in Italy. Stop it. Give me the fresh basil, not French fries, please. My goodness.
Most gold medals at the Olympics, Joe. Norway, minus 170. Look at the U.S. in second here, plus 430 for a chance at the most golds. Love to see that here. U.S. moving up, being a power in the Winter Olympics. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, Norway last Winter Olympics was the runaway winner for this most gold medals. I think most total medals too as well. And you would think, right? I mean, they should be the favorite since they're going to have athletes in just about every event, whether it's ice skating, skiing, whatever it is they got going on there. But it would be nice to see Team USA get themselves maybe come a little bit closer this year than they did 4 years ago.
By the way, they said 2026 Winter Olympics gold medals for the Team USA, 12.5. Is that number going up higher? Because I don't. Was it 12.5 last week? I seem to think it was a little bit lower, but 12.5 at a minus 118 price now.
Yeah, I don't mind the over. I mean, it gives you something to root for here, Donnie, right? So we're all going to be watching Team USA in some events that were like, wow, we didn't even know that existed. But yeah, I'm ready for Team USA to clear house. I'm hoping for at least 14, Donnie. That's what I'm hoping for.
Milan here. By the way, I've just taken a look at some things here on the schedule. February 4th, which again, before the which is always kind of crazy. Like the opening ceremony is not like the official opening of the Olympics here. Like you do have events before that. I'm seeing curling and mixed doubles preliminaries in curling. February 4th at 1:05 p.m. Eastern, Joe. A little curling for you there to get started.
My favorite of all favorite late night Olympic television is you throw on curling, and that is just kick back, a little bourbon in the hand, and just watch them swiffer their way right into. Still don't completely understand how you get the points or you don't, but it is just fantastic watching it. It really is.
We got alpine skiing, Joe, coming up February 12th at 5:30 a.m. I'm just scrolling down to see. How about the skeleton? I believe that is some form of a luge, I want to say. The finals heat for heat number 1 is February 12th at 3:30 a.m., Joe. We'd be up for a little skeleton action at 3:30 a.m.
I might dabble in a little skeleton action, Donnie. Why not? Rooting for Team USA across the board, but I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun because you're right, Donnie. To have the Olympics and the World Cup in the same year, this is going to be a good time over the next couple of months.
Over the course of the 2026 Winter Olympics, 119 events will unfold and 245 gold medals will be awarded here. How about this? I never heard of this one. I don't know what this is, Joe. Ski mountaineering begins on the 19th at 3:50 a.m. with the women's sprint qualifiers here. Ski mountaineering. Does that mean you ski and you also have to design a building at the same time? Like, what is this?
That's a great question. I have no idea. There's a few events in here, Donnie, where I'm like, I don't, like, is it some sort of, wait, what are we doing here? You know what I want to know also, Donnie? Is there a lot of options for live betting the Olympic events, I'm wondering. Like, can we get in the hockey, after the first, right? Is that, I'm wondering what those markets are going to be like.
Yeah, maybe a little speed skating action here. Is the snowboarding's out here? Is the flying tomato in this? Who's competing in snowboarding? Aren't we usually the favorites in snowboarding?
Always. I thought we invented it, didn't we? I mean, we should be the favorites, Donnie. That's what I'm talking about. X Games, baby. X Games. They still do that?
The bobsled here. You got the biathlon, freestyle skiing at this point. You put on a show out there. Maybe the Australians are in that. Little kangaroo action. You never know. One segment to go. You can never stop the fun.
Love it.
We don't.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize.
We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
Stacking up wins to avoid a brutal matchup path, and when Giannis is back full burst, they got to get him back on the floor and back on the floor healthy. The Bucs season won't be defined by the games Giannis misses. It'll be defined whether Milwaukee protects him from himself and gets him back in April if he's still a part of the team.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
David Tyree.
Oh, wow.
The 2008 Giants win against the New England Patriots and the Tyree catch of the Plaxico Burress game-winning touchdown. That was the only other time in Super Bowl history where the betting public won money.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
We are freezing cold in the Northeast. It's been that way for a while. It hasn't disappeared at all. It's just ice on top of ice and snow and freezing cold temperatures. And even Joe down in South Florida is dealing with some cold temperatures here. But when you sometimes can turn on the television, Joe, and watch a little golf, you can do that here. And here's Justin Rose after his win at the Farmers Open.
It's a good question. I feel like the best stretch of golf I played was sort of the back end of middle of 2017 into the beginning of 2018. I think statistically, or the amount of top tens anyway. And then I think actually, here at Torrey in 2019, I was world number one, and I got it to 21 under. I think I finished about 2019, 20. I got it to 21 at one point, and I felt like that was some of the best golf I'd played at that time as well. And I think that maybe I would say I've had some rounds last year, whether it be Sunday at Augusta, whether it be the Saturday of the Ryder Cup, whether it would be some of the golf this week, to be honest. Yeah, I think that those days or those weeks or those rounds are definitely showing me that the gas is still in the tank, and obviously accessing it is the job now, or is the trick. How do I do that more often? That's always the trick, but at least knowing it's there is kind of very builds a lot of confidence.
Yeah, performances like that. Now we're starting to talk, can he win the Masters here coming up in April? He was nothing short of sensational, and the older he gets, feels like the better he's playing right now, Joe.
It's crazy. I mean, he's part of that era now where, yeah, he's still got a little left in the tank, and he's very hard to count out. But anytime he's in an event with like the Rorys and the Scotty Schefflers of the world, he's always going to have great value. And he just showed you, yeah, he can still swing it and roll it in. He is somebody to keep an eye on once again this year.
No doubt about it. Somebody else to keep an eye on here is going to be LeBron James as we get to our Fade the Public poll. King James and the NBA All-Star Game, synonymous between both of those, but also LeBron James does make it his 22nd year in the All-Star Game as a reserve. The question we asked at SportsGrid on X, should LeBron James be an NBA All-Star reserve? Yes or no? And of course, the haters come out of the woodwork. Not this year, leading right now, 73.7%. Not this year, Joe. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, the guy we didn't see him till what? End of November, December? I mean, so how do you miss and they're so good with the Lakers are just so, they only beat under 500 teams, Donnie. Anybody that is over 500, they don't beat whether he's on the court or not. So I mean, basically name recognition at all. But I mean, if you're going to justify it by saying, well, he's not a starter, he shouldn't be on the All-Star game at all, period, at this particular point. If we're talking about just his level of play this season. Is he an All-Star this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
LeBron James. But I'll tell you what we do need. New week, new money, new month, new money. It's a Monday. Time for some best bets. Here's bye. Let them know, Joe. College, NHL, NBA. Where are you going for that action tonight on the best bet?
Well, Donnie, we're going to go to North Carolina, taking on Syracuse in college hoops here tonight. And listen, North Carolina's on a little bit of a roll. They made a change at point guard. They put in the freshman Derek Dixon after they lost to Stanford, and all they've done is rattle off 3 straight wins and looked really, really good doing it. Syracuse, we mentioned, their best player, Freeman, has been unavailable more often than not here with injuries. This is not a terribly good Syracuse Orange team from offensively, Donnie. And this total has been bet out of range, man. I mean, 157.5. I don't think so. I think the Orange would be lucky to get to 70. I think the under is now the play.
There you go. Under action, 157.5 for me, Joe. I almost take a look at that afternoon game, the Pelicans and Hornets at 3 o'clock. Last time, if you remember the afternoon game between the Sixers and the Hornets, I took the Hornets and almost dropped the Sixers by 50, but I didn't pick that game. I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies tonight at home, getting 7.5 points from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Only 22% of the early ticket count is coming in on the Memphis Grizzlies, and the line's dropping a bit. As I like to say, Joe, Nobody wants to take the Memphis Grizzlies, but you know who is? Your boy DRS is taking those Memphis Grizzlies. We got an under and an underdog tonight, Joe. That's the way. That's the path.
Let's go, Grizz. I'm with you, Donnie. Let's cash them tickets.
Back on a Tuesday, one step closer to Super Bowl 60 right here on the SportsGrid Network. For Joe Ranieri, Donnie Wright, out. See you bright and early tomorrow morning.